G'day, I'm Dave, and the channel is Harleys, Diners, and Rides. So it's a Thursday night, it's just after 6 o'clock. I'm driving down to Newmarket for the Newmarket Bike Night, which this is the second night that it's ran. Last week was the first event. But I thought I'd pull over and share with you a quick little story and to ask you a question. So first of all, there's when you're running a YouTube channel, there's all sorts of maintenance and upkeep that you have to keep up, right? Mainly firmware on your technology, updates on maps if you got a GPS, those types of things. And then on the flip side, you're riding a motorcycle, so you have to allot time for maintenance of the motorcycle. Oil changes, check tire pressures, having a beer with your friends, that type of thing. So here's the question, and I'm going to give you the answer shortly. Which takes longer, updating your firmware and maps on your technology, or doing a maintenance on your motorcycle? Oil change, check your tires, that type of thing. So before you answer the question, first of all, if I count them, I have two GPSs. An RV 1090 for when I pulled the trailer, a Garmin Zumo 660, I've got a Canon M50, I've got an Insta360 that's running right now, looking at me at the other screen here. I've got two GoPro 8 Blacks, and I've got one Session 5, GoPro Session 5. So there we go, we got 5 cameras. Oh, and also, I haven't got it on today, but the Cardo Talk Pack Bold Blast. Got 2 of those for Lori and I. So which takes the longer, right? Doing a three-hole oil change on the bike, right? Primary, your crank and your transmission, right? Or 5 cameras and 2 GPSs. So to give you the answer, but it'd be interesting, think back to your bike, your technology, and which would it be? On my case, it took me roughly 2.5 hours to do the oil change on both my bike and Lori's bike. I could probably round it up to 3 because I was up by Fred's house using his bike lift, and we did have a couple of wobbly pops there, right? So that might have been a little bit more, right? Maybe a little. But when it came to doing my technologies, it took me all day. I couldn't believe it. One is finding the right websites, because they change from year to year, getting the right firmware updates, and then waiting for the computer and the devices to pair and look at each other. It took a while. Now, I'll admit the GoPros, the Canon, and the Cardos were fairly quick. That probably took me, just over an hour, maybe an hour and a half. The long ones was the GPSs, the Garmin, because after it does the software update, which only takes a minute or 2, it then has to download the maps. And the maps that I had to download for the Zumo were 5.5 gigs. Download that off of a high-speed internet. And it roughly took 2.5 hours to do, right? There's some guys out for a ride. a scooter. Right? The great Gazoo just passed. So it was something you had to do. But how many of you, honestly now, how many of you at the beginning of a riding season sit down and go through all of your technology and update the firmware? I'll be honest, that's the first time I've done it, and I was surprised at how long it took, right? So roughly a whole day, and that's having a lunch break and letting Max out for her run around the yard and that. The bike, the changing of oil, could have done it faster, but I had a little social going on there too. So anyway, hope you found this interesting and enjoyed. I'm going to jump on the bike now and continue on my way to bike night, meeting up with the rest of the guys out of the Hog chapter, York Region Hog. There's a bunch of us going to be there, and grab a Tim Hortons and have a lot of fun. Anyway, as I always say, ride safe, be safe, and we'll see you soon. For Harleys, Diners, Rides, I'm Dave. Take care.